Hi everyone, welcome back to Ray Systems. In today's video, we will learn one of the most important basics in Excel, how to enter data. Whether you are new to Excel or just getting started, this lesson will help you understand how to input text, numbers, and dates the right way. Before we go into today's video, let's do a little recap. In my previous video, we explored the interface of Excel. We learned how to name your Excel file. We also learned that it is called, when you open the Excel file, it is a book, so it is called workbook. And within the workbook, you can have multiple sheets by pressing this plus button to add more sheets. We learned about renaming your sheets. We learned about giving colors to your sheet. We learned about rows. We learned about columns. And we said that we established the fact that when a row and a column and a row meet, they form a cell. So today we are building up on that, entering data in Excel. So let's get started. Excel works with different types of data. It can be text, it can be numbers, it can be dates, and it can be formulas. Let me take that again. Excel works with different types of data: text, numbers, dates, and formulas. So, what are numbers? What are formulas? What are dates? What are text? Numbers are numerical values. So I can enter any numerical value in a column, in any column, in my workbook, in my worksheet. In the same way, I can enter dates. Dates tells us specifically when an event occurred, when a transaction occurred, when something happened. We use dates to record those events. Text can be name of products, it can be a label. We use text to label products or give names to anything. And it can also be entered into an Excel. So I can type Ghana, I can type IMF, I can type anything text in Excel. And last but not the least, we can as well enter functions. Functions are amazing thing in Excel. So we can ask Excel to perform certain calculations by writing simple and complex functions. And when we get into formulas, you will enjoy it. It makes the work beautiful and it's so fantastic. So let's get into it. Numbers, entering numbers. But before we get into that, let's put this at the back of our minds because you will need it. When I select Excel, a cell, and I want to enter data, I have a couple of options. If I click here once, the cell gets selected. I can then type in my data. So I will type Ghana. As at now, Ghana is not in cell G7 yet. I would have to take another action before cell G7 will accept this data. So I need to press enter key on my laptop, or I need to press the tab key on my keyboard, or I can use the 4 directional keys, the top, down, right, left, any of them, or I can click anywhere in the worksheet. I've just mentioned about 4. So if I type Ghana, I can hit enter. And now when I go to cell G7, Ghana is there. Okay. I can equally press the tab key or the directional keys for this to happen. So let's note that when you click a cell after entering your data, you must click outside, press enter, use the tab key or use the directional keys to get out of the cell so that the cell will accept the data you have entered. All right, let's move on. And then again, I have two options to enter my data. If I click cell G7, I can enter my data from here. So I'll just go ahead and type Ghana. Is there. When we come up here, the ribbon, we call this bar, this is called a formula bar. This is called a formula bar. So I can select a cell. I'm not going to type directly in the cell, but I'll come to the formula bar, click in there and type my data. That is also another key. Now, I was supposed to, now I'm out. So Ghana is there, but I should have typed Ghana Bar Association or Ghana School of Business. So I have to go inside and continue my checks. I will still click my Ghana to select the cell. I have two options. Either I'll come to the formula bar and do space and do Ghana Bar Association. And hit enter. Or I'll come to Ghana here and double click in the cell. I'll double click in the cell to activate the cell so that I can type in the cell without moving to the formula bar. So in the cell right now, you can see the cursor. So I'll just introduce my space and type my bar. All right, we are good. Now, let's take opportunity of what we are seeing now to explain something. We can see that our text has overlapped. It has extended to another cell. That is what we can see from the interface. But behind the scenes, it is still in the cell we selected. So how do we work on this? This is called adjustment or adjusting columns and rows. There are multiple ways of doing this. The easiest way we all do is we will bring our cursor here, and when it changes to the plus button, we click and drag. It's accepted. But this is accepted when you have few columns that you need to work on it. Assuming you have about 20 or 30 columns to adjust, this becomes tedious. So another way, this is the first way. You come here, and when the cursor changes to plus, you click, and as holding it, you drag to expand the column. Are we okay? As you click, you hold and drag to expand the column. Beautiful. There's another way. So let me undo this. Undo again. So we still have this. I still want to adjust my column. This time around, I don't want to come here, click and drag. So I can come here in between the column. That one has extended to the other one. In this case, G and F. If I come to E and F, it will not work. It will only work for E and F. So I need to come to the column, the two columns that has been the overlap. So I come in there, point my cursor in between the columns, and as soon as it changes, I can double click, and the column will just get adjusted. The final one is when you have a lot of columns, you can't do them one by one. So you come to this portion or this part of the worksheet. When you click here, it means you have selected the whole worksheet, columns and rows. Column and rows. Then you can click, you can come in between any of the columns, any. This time around, it doesn't have to be the columns having the issue. It can be anywhere. So you just come, when the cursor changes, you just double click, and it will affect everything. All right, now we are good to go. Okay, so let me delete this and then we start. So entering numbers, I can enter any number from 0 to infinity. So I can start with 0 and do 1 and do 2. No, hold on, I need to do something here. Okay, so let's start. Numbers. We want to enter numbers. We can enter number from 0 to infinity. Every number can be entered into Excel. So I can enter 0, I can enter 1, I can enter 20, I can enter 100. Excel accepts any number. Characteristics of a number. When you enter a number in Excel, automatically the number is right aligned. If you enter a number in Excel, automatically numbers are right aligned in Excel. All right. So Excel sees this as numbers. They are figures, numerical figures, and they are right aligned. Later, when we get to formatting our data, we can format this data to go either left, center, but Excel has been configured by default that when you enter a number, it should be right aligned. Let's take note of that. Okay, so we've been able to enter a number in Excel. You can enter date. As at the time of recording this video, my date, today's date is 28th day of October 2025, and Excel will accept it. All right, so we have seen date too. Text. We can enter any text here. We can enter Monday. We can enter Ghana. We can enter race system. We can enter any text in Excel. And with text also, automatically they are left aligned. Text are left aligned. All right, let's go a little further. What are functions or formulas? So functions help us to perform calculations. They help us to perform calculation. Okay, so let's go. Assuming I have 10 here, I have 5 here, and I told you numbers are right aligned. So as soon as I type 10 and 5, they are right aligned. I want to multiply these two values. I can write a function in Excel to do this for me. And in writing our functions, we always start by equal sign. We will later treat formulas functions in Excel. But for now, I just want to show you how it works in Excel. So you start with your equal sign, and then you tell Excel that as soon as Excel sees the equal sign, it knows you are writing a function. And in writing a function, whichever cell or range of cells you select will be highlighted. So I am telling Excel that Excel, pick this cell G5. And on my keyboard, I'll press the star key, which represents multiplication. So shift star, that is shift key number 8 for you to get star. And then I will click H5. And you can see that both cells are selected so that you'll be able to know, even with different colors, you're able to know what you are doing. So you are telling Excel that Excel, go and pick the value in cell G5 and multiply it by the value in cell H5. As soon as I hit enter, I get my value. This is a function, this is a formula. And there are a lot of functions in Excel. a lot of functions in Excel. So now we've been able to look at numbers, dates, text, and formulas. I want us to look at a few things and we can end the session today. Excel works with different types of data, like I said earlier. So let's look at something. When you come to the ribbon and you come to the home button, you see this here. Default is general. That means Excel will accept any data you input here. But as you progress in your knowledge in Excel, we are aiming at building dashboard reports in Power BI and in Excel. And the type of data you are giving or you are feeding your data, it becomes crucial because it's going to affect your analysis. So you should bear in mind that when I am entering numbers, figures, I am entering figures. If this column is for text, it should be for text. If this column is for dates, it should be for dates. So that when you are running your analysis, you don't get Excel confused. Let me say that. So first things first, even though you can do this in Power Query, that is another interface that exists between your Excel file and your Power BI that you can use to clean your data. Power Query is for cleaning of data. It is best that from the onset, if you are the one building the workbook, the data in Excel, you give your columns the right data types so that when the time comes for you to run the analysis, you don't get into trouble. What do I mean by that? I want column C to take only dates for the transaction and not text. It should be dates, not function. It should just be dates. So I can select the whole column or select the range. One, this is a cell. When I select more than one, this becomes a range. This becomes a range. Okay, so if I select this, I can tell Excel that whatever I put here should be a date, or whatever it's, assuming there's data there already. I want to tell Excel that when you see this column, everything in there is a date. When you see this column, everything in there is a text. And it's going to help us. You understand it more when we get into building our dashboard. But we have a lot of formatting here. We will learn this in our next video. But I just want you to understand that from the onset, you give your data the right labels, headers, and then you give them the right data type so that you don't run into problem. The last thing we are going to do or talk about is autofill. So Excel is so intelligent that when you give Excel a pattern, and if that pattern is a standardized pattern, Excel can help you complete your tasks. Instances where the data you are feeding Excel is not a standard accepted pattern, you can build your own data pattern in Excel. And it's one of the videos you are going to explore later. It's called custom list. This is whereby I can input my data in the memory of Excel and say that when I type TV or television as a product that we sell as a company, bring all the other products. I don't need to type TV, fridge, microwave, printers. Once I type television and I drag down, I want you to give me this list. It's called custom list. So the standard ones are, I'm going to show you. So let's say I want to enter the days in the week. So I have Monday. If I hit enter, if I want the rest of the days, I don't need to come and type Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. When I click the cell and it gets selected, we can see from this corner that there's some small blue small box down here, and when we hover our mouse on it, you can see that the cursor changes. As soon as the cursor changes to the plus or the cross sign, click it, don't leave it, click, hold it and drag down, and Excel will fill the other days for you. It's that easy. It's that easy. If I want the months in the year, I can start by January. If I go enter, I hover my mouse, click and drag, Excel should be able to give me the rest of the name of the month. I don't need to type this all over again. And this is one of the greatest thing in Excel. We will explore more of autofill when we are doing, or we are exploring more as we grow in the course. But today, this is where we end our discussion on entering data in Excel. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and activate your notification bell so that as soon as the video drops, you'll be the first person to get to watch. Thank you for watching. This is Ray Systems. Bye bye.